All right, hello. I hope this works because I figured it'd be easier this way. We can kind of just go through step by step how I do this, and hopefully it will help you. The things that I use, I'll show you. These are my favorite. They're Christina eyelashes. This is a number 43. You can play with different styles, but this is one of my favorites. There's also one that's called DW that I like. They're very light. You want to choose a natural eyelash that the band isn't real thick on, because some of these are made with plastic or nylon, maybe, I don't know, but they're really hard to, they're not very pliable. So you want something that's really thin and light. These I get from Amazon, and they're 12 of them for I don't know, 15 bucks. And I actually can use these 2 or 3 times usually on average. So you save some money. And then this is the only eyelash adhesive I will use. It's called Duo, and I get the dark tone because it dries black. So you really don't see the glue after you put it on. They do have the clear, or it looks white, but it does dry more clear. So it does work okay, but I'd rather just use this because it doesn't, you don't see it as long after it dries. And what I do is just kind of take the eyelashes out of the plastic, and then just kind of, they're kind of sticky, so just set them up on there. And then I'll take my adhesive. I'm trying to do this with the camera situated, so it's kind of hard to get a good angle. So I'll just take the adhesive and put a pea-size amount on there. And usually when I do this, it's about 5 minutes before I actually want to start putting on my eyelashes, because you kind of want to get it a little tacky. You kind of want to let it start getting some air to it. For tools, I cut the end of a Q-tip off, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. And then I have some flat edge tweezers and then some pointy edge tweezers. And when you get your pointy edge tweezers, just be careful, because a lot of them are kind of raised on the ends, and it's really annoying. So make sure they're completely flat and they're nice and pointy. So, all right. When I'm ready to put my eyelashes on, what I do first is I curl my lashes a little, and then put a little bit of mascara on first on my natural lashes, because that helps give it something to adhere to, and it actually adds a little bit more fullness to your lash. So, and the reason why I started doing this was because I found out that when I have Crohn's flares, I lose almost all my lashes on my left eye, just my left eye. I'm not sure why, but I actually went probably the last 4 months, 6 months without having hardly any eyelashes. And now that I've gotten insurance and back on treatments and stuff, they're slowly growing back. But this is pretty much why I started doing this, and I just love to do it now. So this is my favorite mascara, Maybelline Lash Sensational, and I'd probably get a waterproof, because sometimes, I don't know, your eyelashes will irritate you once in a while and kind of make your eyes water, and you don't want that running. I also have an eyeliner that's waterproof, and it's pretty helpful. Okay, so we're all set to do our lashes, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this camera so you can see it. So let's see what we can find out. Hold on. All right, so we got our deal here. You just grab, I usually grab the left one first. I don't know, I mean, I've done this so long that I kind of have a routine that I do. So what you want to do is take your lash and then just hold it by the edge with your flat tweezers, and then you take your little Q-tip here and you just kind of mix it up a little bit because it might be a little bit dry on the top and around the edges. Okay, and then get just a nice scoop on there, nice little gob, and then just run it along the band of the lash until you get, I don't know, a pretty thick covering. You don't want to do too much, but you don't want to get not enough, because you definitely don't want them starting to come off before the night is done. And you know, I've really gotten away with wearing these, like I've worn them overnight into the next morning. I try not to because it's probably not very smart. So we got just a nice little band of glue on there. I don't know if you can see it very well. And then what I do, here, I'm gonna bring you back up here. I'm like rigging this thing up funny. Okay, so what I do is kind of let it dry a little bit. You want to get the adhesive like nice and tacky on here, because the more tacky you get it without it actually drying, the easier it is for it to stick. And maybe when you start out, maybe not make it too tacky, because you really want to like work on how to get the right placement on there right away, because if you sometimes if it's a little too tacky and you don't get it exactly where you need it, it's really hard to. So you kind of notice around the edges it gets a little black, so that's how you know that you're probably about ready to put them on. So what I do is keep this side tweezed and then just kind of hold this corner when you're putting them on, like hold the other end and then just get right up to the mirror. Oh shit. And just try to position it right, and then make sure like the edges are kind of turned up a little bit so they'll stick. And then I'll just take my tweezers and just kind of, I'll pull my eyelash tight and then push down or adjust where I need it, as you can see. And then I'll take this guy and then just kind of go along the lash line and then just kind of push it down into place. And don't worry if you get some eyelash adhesive like where it's not supposed to go. It comes off really easily after it dries, and it pretty much covers up under your eyeliner really easily once it dries. It pretty much looks like eyeliner when it dries. Okay. Sometimes you might get a little adhesive in your eye and it burns a little bit, but it's not that horrible. It is not wanting to stick in the middle. Okay. Hopefully I didn't get too close to the mirror when I was putting it on, because then you wouldn't have been able to see anything. Oop. Yeah, this middle part is just not going down like it's supposed to for some reason. Maybe I didn't get enough glue on there. So if that's the case, what I do is just take a little bit and then kind of run along the edge of your lash line like that, and that should help. And then take your tweezers and kind of just move it to where you need it to go. Okay, that should help. This side seems to want to fall down a little bit, so I'll just take my tweezers and kind of push them. Okay, try to do the other one. All right, we'll time out for this. All right, I think we're ready for this guy. So, grab both ends. Start on the outside and kind of work your way in, just like that. And then pull it tight. And just make sure it's kind of pushed right up to the lash line. That's where you're aiming for, is just right against that lash line. And that's it. I usually give about 5 or 10 minutes for the adhesive to dry, and then put some eyeliner over the top, and you're pretty much done. If you wear eyeshadow, I'd put your eyeshadow on before you put your eyeliner on, so you don't get eyeshadow on your eyeliner. But other than that, that's all you really need to do. Like I said, just make sure you find eyelashes that aren't too heavy and that are very flexible, because the more flexible and light they're going to be, the easier they're going to be to put on your eyes. So the 100% human hair ones are the ones I prefer. And you don't really need any fancy lashes. And I've tried the magnetic ones and I haven't had any luck with those. But because I lose a lot of eyelashes in my left eye, there's nothing for them to hold on to. So the more lashes you have for the magnetic ones, the easier it probably is. But that's how I do it. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. Thank you.